wonderfully put across what embedded insurance is. All I can add is that with the way it's always been around, just like you purchase flight tickets, you'll see an option there, do you want to add travel insurance to your travel? Well, it's always been there in some form or the other. The way we see it at the moment, or the way I realize it, is that maybe awareness is required and finding the right product fit. When we go ahead and we give out certain insurance products, we got to identify if a certain micro product or a particular insurance add-on can be a right fit for that client. Maybe they're looking for something a little extra, basis the overall main product that's been given already. So identifying that is something as a step one is what I would say, to going ahead and exploring this, because there's definitely a lot of potential, definitely a lot of opportunity in the times ahead for embedded insurance. Yeah.
Great. Thank you all. So we've talked a lot there about that everyone says there's going to be trillions of extra premium in the market from embedded insurance, right? But there's some really interesting comments in there that I want to go back on. Is premium just doesn't come from nowhere, right? There's got to be some actual product fit that people want and that need isn't satisfied now. What do you guys think? What are these emerging products? What is coming that hasn't been there before? What do you see as emerging? What will be the embedded product, do we think? Do you start, Michele?
So look, not being an insurance company, I would argue the modern product is more the channel accessibility. I'm going to give 3 examples to prove that, if the product is there, if the customer doesn't take access to it, like it doesn't matter, and premium, it doesn't grow. So. Yeah. What we do here in the UAE, generally, so insurance companies use Democrat's platform to, as I said earlier, to put products on the website, and for personal insurance, on commercial insurance, they would use it to offer, a digital portal to the agents and brokers. But also, like, as the platform comes with API, then they can offer it via, third parties like the aggregators, the Visa Center, the free zone company, the free zoning zone with the free zone distribution channel. So it solves a real pain point because SMEs, they have to get insurance in order to renew their license. And before, to get a very simple, plain vanilla coverage, they had to go to an agent or a broker and get a quote on something that they just need to renew their license. Now they can do it by adding it as a click during their license renewal process. Now, another example with maybe less premium and more impact is what to do in Egypt. So in Egypt, we work a lot with microfinance institutions to bundle life and health insurance. Health insurance as in inpatient hospital cash to the loan the borrowers. Now, there again, the product is nothing, is nothing new, right? It's credit life and hospital cash. However, we reached 1 million active customers, so 1% of the country has finally access to some sort of insurance.
Right.
Now, another example, and this is like a more emerging market, what we do in Kenya, where we work with a startup that is actually part of the same VC investor that we have. Global Ventures. The startup is called Ilara Health, and they have they're basically a health tech, and so they license their technology to clinics, and also they run a few of those clinics. So they have a full view and ownership of the customer and their data. With them, we were able to offer a full-on inpatient, outpatient health insurance, so a proper capitation model for a couple of dollars a month. Obviously, the premium there is smaller, like a couple of thousand customers. However, the innovation in terms of product is much higher.
Okay, cool. So I think there are a couple of things there. So so one part of embedded insurance is actually delivering existing product to existing buyers in better ways, which that can't be contributing to these extra trillions, right? Because that's the same. Another important one is kind of closing the protection gap and bringing existing products to consumers that haven't had them before, right? Pass it open to the rest of the panel, anyone that wants to take. Are there any genuinely new products? Are we seeing anything different that we never saw before, or is this just a repackaging exercise?
So if I may, also based on of the client use cases examples, I mean, I think there's tomorrow planned a session on metaverse, so we're not going to go into ensuring your non-fungible tokens and all of that. I think that may be a new sort of category.
Yeah.
But I think, and I mentioned it before, there's part of the embedded insurance is more about convenience offered towards the end client, right? So, and it's not just insurance per se as risk transfer, it's also bundling those additional services. So, for example, a very simple, flight delay product where if a flight is delayed by a certain number of hours, you get certain amount of money back. That's the standard way of offering travel insurance, right? A bit of a convenience twist to it that was added by one of our clients was that stays still, that claim you will get, but we'll also offer you a voucher to a VIP lounge, so you can actually relax before that delayed flight and do some work, etc., right? So that convenience element, and whether it costs, the premium is a bit higher or not, that doesn't really matter, because we're willing to pay more for convenience than just, because it makes us feel better, it makes our life easier. So that element is really important. And also I think insurance is moving more and more into preventative space, right? So a very trivial example of another client that's actually orchestrated bicycle insurance, so all risk plus theft. And so typical, again, as Michael said, typical coverages that we all are used to. But they actually orchestrate already the policy issuance with a purchase of a chain lock that gets sent to that owner of the bicycle, so that they actually use the chain, so that chances are that the bicycle is going to get stolen less often. So that's another example of more content, right, and a bit of prevention as well.
Cool. Maybe I'll jump to Rahul next. So a question for you, Rahul, is if the insurance is embedded, and that is what we're talking about, it's kind of embedded generally with some other sale, right? What do you think that means for the consumer in terms of the visibility of the insurer, and what could that even mean for claims?
Well, that's a very good question, and come to think about it, if it's embedded, let's say it's from an insurer A to insurer B. So for a client, primarily, it's more or less to understand who is actually offering that cover. Unless that is not clear, they'll not know who to approach. So this is typical in cases where we do have the ongoing products, and what happens is, like, since flight tickets is very common, I'll use that as an example. Or you purchase, let's say, a travel insurance on a particular flight ticket portal, you purchase a ticket, you added the travel insurance to it, and something happened to your baggage and you want to claim for it. So ideally what happens is people will always go to their main point of contact, where did they buy the tickets from, and through which channel they got the insurance. That poses a problem at the moment, and getting proper clarity, or maybe getting complete communication on where and who actually you need to reach out to for your cover is what's important. And that's like a key missing element. Many people don't know really, okay, who do I go to? So when you do put in a product, when you do see a product fit, and when we do go ahead and make these combinations, it's equally important for us to identify and understand that, does the customer understand that journey? Does the customer aware of, okay, this is from part A and this is from part B?
Okay, it'd be interesting to get your views on this as well, Lars. I think what I'm hearing is it's probably, and intuitively, it's probably pretty easy to build a highly digital policy issuance journey. Tick box on checkout, add policy, no problem. Is it the claims part that's challenging, and have you seen anything around that's inspired you? Or shocked you?
I think in general, the insurance story is, or journey, customer journey, is still rather shocking than smooth in overall terms. Yeah, and I think embedded insurance is nothing else. I think we see the highest conversion rates in where the conversion is really good, where people are happy with the product, not even recognizing they have a problem. But as you rightfully say, it ends at the claims sector, right? So we talked about travel insurance, right? There are a couple of insurance companies that we compete with actually where you have to claim a travel insurance, then well, you have 4 different telephone numbers to call, and this is not the experience you want to do. Embedded in a proper way, you actually can do this, handle this in a proper way, right? So I don't think I have a particular example where I say this is especially good, especially bad. It's all about customer experience, and it's an end-to-end customer experience that we need to do. And what I want to add here is, we've talked, 4 of us already, it was embedded insurance towards final clients, consumers, but embedded insurance also works embedding it in new business models that are on a commercial side. We didn't talk about this, but this is actually a lot of fun. Because yes, it requires a little bit of more thinking, but the money behind is actually really interesting. So can they use embedded insurance in commercial insurance? Yes, absolutely. The business model makes a lot of sense. Because in the end, when we talk embedded, it only means it's not direct sales, it's someone else is doing the sale for you, and everything else is included somewhere there. So this is what I believe is the next frontier of embedded insurance.
Just one quick follow-up question for you as being the insurer on the panel. So if the insurer becomes more and more invisible because the customer feels he's buying from the e-commerce vendor, is that something that worries insurers, or is that just part of the journey and we go along with it?
I think we heard the argument. If finding customers know from which to buy, I think it does help. I think this is the breaking point between a relationship between an insurer and an aggregator. Where to stand and how much of our own brand image goes out. It's important, and I believe for many clients it is important to choose from. So I think that we don't fear this kind of business model. This is an opportunity for us to be in the right space, to develop new products, and there, yes, if you develop right products, you have to do the right service, and this is where your brand actually comes in.
Cool. I'll go to you, Tomek, if I can, for some of your international experience. Those of us that saw the presentation earlier on, it was from an embedded software provider, I guess you'd call them. And some of the numbers there were staggering. They were talking about issuing 45 million policies a day. So then I thought, wow, in this region, we're not doing 45 million policies a year. So I wanted to get your views. What, if anything, is missing here? What's the challenge? Why are we behind? Do you think we are behind?
Well, yeah, that's a good point, because when you have volumes, then, and growing volumes, it's easier to let's say, make that market and earn from it. But I think even in our region here, there is certain number of interesting markets where offering those embedded insurance products really does make sense also from a volume point of view. And actually, volumes is probably in that embedded context, because we still get hung up on the number of policies, right? Number of quotations. Well, actually, we start thinking in terms of, what our middle office also is meant to do, is support the overall API orchestration. And it doesn't just stop with insurance-related APIs, not just transactional insurance, right? To quote bind an issue and then do midterm adjustment and you're done, you go home. No. What you're looking at are different types of transactions. So let's take motor insurance as an example. So we've been actually working on an interesting case in Europe, but I think it's equally relevant to this region here, where one of the car manufacturers is looking at sourcing insurance, so embed insurance into the car. You're driving the car across different countries or across the states in the United States of America, and that car automatically is sourcing insurance, third-party liability and own damage, depending on the country it's in, because there's different panels of insurers bidding for that business. Some of them may want to only insure within, so let's say UAE, and if you go to Oman, it costs way too much, and you can get Oman cover from Oman-based carrier for less money, right? Mm-hmm. So all of that transaction brokering is happening in real time as you are driving your car with the family, yeah? So you have so many cars here, we do, so that could work, right? Now, and this is where I would like to, for the sake of being a bit of a devil's advocate, disagree about the technology.
Okay.
Because in that example, I can hardly imagine any sort of even modern core system that could support the dynamic pricing, brokering, bundling of these coverages, and distributing the required information across all of the participants, right? You really need a specific set of technology, which is a sort of an open API-driven platform where you can bundle all of that together, not just coming from one vendor, but from many. So that's my take. Yes, market is smaller than other markets here. It's more difficult. That's probably where you're heading with your next question about regulatory framework across those 7 countries, or at least 4, let's say, would be already good, or 5. But it's doable.
Okay.
Maybe
Please, yeah.
just quickly on the number, because I was similar thinking about this number in total, but if you break down embedded insurance into microinsurance,
Yeah.
even in our markets, these kind of numbers are possible. Just think all the delivery service that we out there, how many drives are happening every day. And there's a perfect place to embedded insurance. And there are millions of those things in our region. So yes, compliments on what you're doing, right? But yeah, we have a market that actually can be done. It just is not done yet.
Very good points, very good. So you anticipated my next question, Tomek. I'm going to call it question 5.0 because I know you like high numbers. Do we have a regulatory encumbrance here? Not one that regulators tried to create, but I'm thinking about where would the biggest opportunities be? And they're probably in multinational businesses that are in different territories across our region. How could we support those businesses if they're in multi-countries? How would that work? How can we solve that problem? Can we solve that problem?
So if I can take that. So like it's not only a problem of, you know, a small markets with different regulators. I mean, if you talk about embedded insurance, like by definition, you're selling insurance via a distribution channel that is not regulated but the same. So, for example, what we did in 2019, we piloted here in the UAE the first microinsurance programs. So to offer people, to offer migrant workers in the UAE who do not normally have access to insurance beyond the mandatory health. When they go and send money back home. So we were working on one hand with insurance companies, on the other hand with money transfer operators and also remittance houses. So at that time, insurance authority was not yet under the central bank. So you had on one hand insurance companies, insurance authority, on the other hand a remittance house, money transfer operators that were regulated by central bank. So you had the private players who are scared of their own regulators, and then you have each one of the two regulators who are scared of like overstepping over the other one. So that took time to put it together, and, you know, a trial and error, and just give it a try. And no one had done it before. Very happy that we did. In the end, you know, in a small insurance market like the UAE, we could offer it microinsurance to 100,000 migrant workers, and now we're scaling it to other migrant regions. But yeah, it's not easy.
Just maybe, Rahul, I'm interested in your views. I mean, you're obviously a regulated broker in the UAE, which is the right thing to be. How would you deal with a multinational client if you had to?
Well, firstly, definitely identify what are they looking for, and of course, go ahead and check if there's a particular product or micro product that does suit their needs. Like take an example for, you know, the real estate. Like you have a lot of projects upcoming, you have a lot of migrant workers over here working. So of course, we, you know, if we identify that, yeah, there is a need for something like this, and there is a possibility that we can offer it, keeping in mind that regulators are on board as well, because the first thing they'll always check for is, you know, why this, why and how, and what does it serve, what are the benefits that is, you know, passed on to the consumer. That's how I've always seen regulators, that's how we've seen them as, you know, because whatever product you want to introduce, it'll always be a question is what's the end benefit to the end consumer that you are trying to offer this to. So the way I see it is that if we are able to go ahead and, bring in the market certain products which are simple, easy to use, easy to understand, and even the end benefit consumer, someone like a migrant worker can understand that they have this benefit in these scenarios. Then I think that's what country works. At the moment, what happens is if you ask anyone out there as to what are the benefits that you have, most of them are not able to really convey it. So there's definitely a small gap there.
Excellent. So maybe one final question for me, and then we'll very happily take questions from the audience. Do we see a product problem in this region? What I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. So we have a client, they make spectacles, right? And they want to be able to offer spectacle insurance at point of sale. Very, very common in Europe, right? You buy that, every time you buy your glasses, you can just get that product, no problem at all. We've really struggled to find a carrier in this region that's willing to take that risk. And why do we think that is? Do we think there's a solution to that? Have you guys seen anything?
So maybe if I can add to this, I think it's a challenge of the industry in this wider region. I think the capital that insurance companies in the region have is not enough to really take on risks. Most of the insurance companies are acting actually as a broker, not taking any risk. And if there's no way to take risk in your own balance sheet, then you have no possibility to support new products. We do this differently in QC. We have selected new products that we're getting in. But I believe, I wanted to add on, I think this is a missing part in the ecosystem, a part that we're trying to solve, and you're part of it. You mean the Insurtech Association, right? To getting those new products and helping to find out who is the right reinsurance and insurance partner and making it happen. So we need to do more. Because as you said, Europe is a standard product, and it's done by direct insurance and by reinsurance. Why can't we bring them here? Or why can't we find the right insurance company in our region that have the capital strength to actually make it happen? Because we can. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of making those things happen. But then we need to shake a little bit the industry.
Absolutely.
Is it because of the pricing reservations or adverse risk selection that they didn't want to get it? Or
they don't know how to price it.
Okay.
They've never seen it. They don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's a new risk to them, right? So I think going with Lars' comment, I think there are also certain global reinsurers that have experience in that. So you could find a local fronting company and have them cede 99.9% of the premium to the global reinsurer, and that's done, right? But I thought maybe there is also a bit of hesitance from the cost of actually integrating, connectivity and how to service that business, because fundamentally the cost of connecting channels, new channels, and selling new products through those channels is actually going down to zero almost with the technology we have, right? So it's really economies of scale big time. So that should not be, if they have a proper, and I know you do, if they're talking about the proper tech, that should not be a problem, right?
Agreed. Michele, I can see you.
No, I agree with Tomek. So especially I think in personal lines, a couple of years ago in the UAE, pet insurance did not exist. And then, now it starts coming. So I think especially in personal line, risk, it will be manageable. To me, and maybe I'm biased, but the real challenge for insurance companies to launch new products and new channels and better insurance is that they rely on their legacy technology system that is not enabled to or open to the whole digital world, of digital ecosystem. So and things are changing. Even you see outside here. If you were at this conference 3 years ago, I think Democrats had no competition outside, and now we have so many, and it's great because it means that the insurance companies are finally ready to to explore digital channels. I think there was a survey from I forgot the consultants, but it says that 70% of insurance companies in the UAE are ready to partner with Insurtechs. 85% of them they recognize their issue on IT legacy, and therefore are open to to outsource technology stack. So that is a good
Just to add to that from personal experience, I completely agree. I agree with you, but I especially agree with Lars. I think a hindrance in this region is if you approach an insurer, then maybe they'll do it, but they're just going to go to a reinsurer. And they're not telling you who that reinsurer is. So I'm chasing the insurer is chasing the reinsurer. I've got no direct connection there, and so it takes very, very long. And you end up with clients that get frustrated, like, where's this cool embedded insurance you promised me? And so that's one of the challenges we face. Just before we take any questions for the audience, maybe I'll come this way from you, Rahul. Any final thoughts you want to add at all? Anything we didn't cover that you'd like to have mentioned?
We basically summed it up. I mean, we've looked at what it is today, well, what we expect of it going forward, and what are the current challenges that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, the tech is there. We just got to work on maybe the other side of things. Earlier it was like we wish we could have this or we could have that, and the tech was not there. But today, the tech has gone so far ahead, and it's possible, with API integrations and the other technology that's there. We have websites, mobile apps, so on and so forth. So maybe we've got to look at as to how we can make it more digitized and simple enough for the journey.
That's clear. Lars, I'll come back to you for the other thing in a minute. Any final thoughts on embedded?
Yeah, I think on embedded, I think I wanted to make an announcement here. We have tomorrow from 8 to 11 the Insurtech competition UAE here, and I think 2/3 of the Insurtechs that we have selected to present are embedded insurance plays.
Okay.
So I believe this is a powerful way to see actually in 5-minute pitches what is happening out there, what cool ideas are out there, and then we're coming back to the root problem, right? If there is no capital to cover the risk, you can have fantastic IT, but it doesn't help because it's not the money that you can make.
Tomek, any final thoughts?
I think we covered a lot of ground today, but I really think that still tech does matter, even though some other things may not. But it just, you cannot be thinking that you sort of change your existing legacy core system, bring in a new one, and boom, and the job is done. You have to really make sure what it is that you're trying to do and what kind of technologies you really need to support that from the business point of view. So the open APIs, the microservices, the orchestration, the cloud nativity, all of that needs to play some role in your overall business and embedded insurance strategy, because it's all about actually 3 things, if you ask me. It's connectivity, speed, and convenience. Not much more to it.
Okay. Michele?
Yeah, just maybe one final wish. More than thought, it would be awesome if if we come back to this panel in 1 year time and we talk about all the the great example of embedded insurance in the region, thanks to the new startups, existing players, and what we can showcase to other markets like Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa and so on.
That's a really good point. If we're still only talking about it in a year's time, we know that all of us have failed. So just before we wrap up, are there any questions from the audience? I think there were some microphones out there. We have one over here. Is there a microphone?
Hey guys, great panel, by the way. You guys are real thought leaders. I notice you are talking a lot about sort of high volume, low premium type products. In your opinion, I'd be curious to know what sort of hurdles or obstacles are you seeing for products that are maybe higher premium, higher touch, more technical products for embedded distribution channels?
Maybe I'll go first if you guys don't mind. Actually, less challenges on that. So what I'm thinking about, for example, is that there's huge scope to embed just marine cover on large sort of shipments. So instead of having these blanket umbrella covers that we've had in the past, there's a lot of possibility to break that down to micro level. There, you've kind of find the carriers and you find the people that have the capital to do that, and so those challenges go away. So the tech is kind of constant between the two, but I think less challenges finding a carrier.
It's more on mean on like a consumer level. Is there trust in purchasing a product that will be,
I see.
$5, $10, $100,000 on an embedded product? People don't have a problem purchasing, an insurance product that costs them, $35. But if they spend $10,000, are they going to feel comfortable buying a product on a, embedded platform? And do you guys see that ever being a thing?
Okay, good. Any thoughts?
Yeah, just maybe an example of marine insurance, even on more complex products. We have clients here in the UAE that sells marine insurance, sells policies that are custom made for the army in the US, deployments in the region. The premium it's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're still using Democrat's platform to do it, but the difference there is that obviously the customer is not going to buy it himself. They don't have the knowledge, and the patience, and the expertise to do that. But just for a customer, the convenience of having an agent, a broker, helping you choose the right coverage, and then quote and bind on the spot. So you exit from that meeting, you have your policy that you paid already. That makes the customer happy. Versus previously, the agent or the broker had to collect the documents, talk to the underwriter, and get back in 1 week or 2 weeks to that customer.
If I can add to this, I think embedded insurance, you can embed on different dimensions, right? So I'm fully with you that for some life, large ticket life savings sort of retirement planning, there will always be a need for some sort of advice, right? But embedded insurance is not just about sort of trying to hide insurance in an overall purchase. It's also embedding it into alternative distribution channels, right? So it's not just selling through agents, brokers, and potentially even aggregators. It's really, for example, giving that product with all the tech and with all the advisory knowledge of the bank person and using bank as embedded insurance channel, right? Or even, look, companies like Google, Facebook, and others, Teslas, they actually are more positioned to sell even this higher ticket, motor insurance, another type of insurance, to their clients, because those clients trust them that they know more, Tesla knows more about cars than potentially an insurer, right? And it can, with all of the sensors and everything else. So the dynamics changes a lot, and this embedded insurance, looking at channels as embedded, is really a different angle. So it's not just the insurance embedded in a product, it's also insurance embedded in a new channel. That's what I wanted to stress.
There's another question in the middle there. I think.
Yeah. My name is Danish. I work for Sakoon Insurance. And ideally speaking, it's a very good discussion. I've been working on bank insurance affinity channel since last 2006. Jonathan, you may know me from Zurich. I worked with AIG as well in the past. Just one comment, because it came out that, on this spectacle insurance. See, currently I'm driving an underwriting role for A&H products as well. The biggest challenge I have is to see whenever I get a vendor who's saying that I have a product, which is spectacle insurance, the first thing as an underwriter, I would like to see what kind of volumes I'm looking at. Because those volumes will drive me to set up the product inside my company. Now I have a target on top line and bottom line. And if those do get sticked, I can be more encouraged to get into that. Now, product is easy, but the second part is that who's going to tie up in that product? And when we say, okay, fine, you bring a distributor who's willing to distribute it, that's where the discussion starts going silent. Okay. So the products could be there. And as an insurer, for me, like if I'm working with affinity partners or banks, it is easier for me to distribute the products from there and get those volumes instead of driving a new channel. So to answer your point, the thirst for getting new products in this market is there. I work on those products for my company. But the biggest challenge we see is, one, volumes. Two, if I have to reinsure it, is a reinsurer A category or not A category? Because as a company like Sakoon, I will not like to go for a B-rated or C-rated RI with no probable experience in the market. Probably this is where the challenge is, that when the Insurtech companies do come to us with solutions and products, they sometimes would have to come with us end-to-end so that we as insurers are willing to put a stick in the game and implement those products as the market would like to see. Where we get discouraged is that the effort which is going to go in contributing comparison to the volume or margins we're going to generate. Thank you.
It's a very good point, and I'm going to come to you for spectacle insurance, by the way, so we'll do that. Are there any final questions from the panel? Oh, quite a few, actually. We have in the front here.
I've got a couple of questions, actually. One, we talk about embedded insurance at point of sale and at product level. A lot today we've talked about customer centricity.
Yeah.
Are we not, as an industry, building a rod for our own back? As a consumer, now my car gets broken into, I have to go to 10 different insurers to make a claim for all of my individual products, and actually it makes us look possibly worse and more incompetent than perhaps we are. So is it good for the industry, I suppose, is my first question. My second is embedded insurance 6.0. Actually embed your insurance as me being the product. And I actually only ever need one policy, and you know everything about me. We've talked about data today. You know what I drive, you know my salary, you know how often I go to hospital, and you know when I travel. So can't you just insure me? Embed the insurance on me. Thanks.
Lars, did you fully hear the question? I think
I didn't get the question. The sound here is really bad, so it's complicated for us to understand. So it's not that we are not fit, but
is embedded insurance bad for the industry because it segments all of my insurance as a customer? As a customer now, I don't know who my insurer is. It was easy at point of sale, but when I actually have to use that promise that you've sold me, it's very, very difficult. My car gets broken into. Who am I claiming with for my glasses, for my bike, for my phone, for my various different things, because I don't have a single insurer? That was my first question.
Yeah, it came through here now.
Okay, can I try to take this? Because my ideal insurance policy would be, I give you all my data and you give me the number to cover all my risks. You know what I'm doing, you know who I am, right? You can price me. I don't need to buy the transactionally, but that's us. That's probably our generation, sir. I think there's a lot of other people, younger people, who love to transact anything, and for them, buying or committing themselves to a contract for a year, it's just nonsense, you know? Right. So they, because maybe they will not use it that often, so they will always subsidize others that use it more. They prefer to buy it only when and as they need it. And that's this sort of the generation, I call them, I mean, there's many letters, but I call them Generation C, generation convenience, really, yeah? I only buy it when I need it, and I'm ready to pay for it, whatever the price is, but only when and if I need it, yeah? So that's, I think, how at least half of the world now is viewing insurance.
Fantastic.
We have one advantage, I think, here in the region to get to embedded insurance 6.0, and is the data centralization and data availability in the region, especially, I have to say, in Saudi Arabia, even more than the UAE, although the UAE has access to data, but they don't open it up to private players. So to give you an example, in Saudi, you only need 2 data points to insure you as a driver and your car. And that means that to give you a motor quote, it takes us 80 seconds compared to the 4 minutes of lemonade in the US. So even in an advanced market like the US with Tesla insurance and so on, because you still have to ask the customer for all this information, it's, you know, like it's more difficult. So we're not there yet hopefully next year we are going to talk about the successes here.
Cool. I'm told we've got time for one more question. I'm seeing through the lights. I think, Anselm, is that you? Yeah.
Hi. Thank you. Fascinating discussion. Just a question, and I think it sort of kicks off from what Miro said as well. When it comes down to a little more of the sophisticated solutions that we're looking to build or to embed, what role do you feel would transparency and, in terms of insurance is not the most user-friendly of products, right? So being able to have clients and customers understand the solution, understand what they're buying, and how do we sort of get from, something that is invisible to something that the client understands?
It's a good question. So it's very easy to add stuff in, right? It just needs to be valuable to the customer. How do we solve that?
I think this is actually, you hit the nail on its head. I think this is the main selling proposition of embedded insurance, because people who buy it only when they see the value of it in their eyes, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't. So I think that's fundamental problem how a lot of, and I think there's also a problem in the region, right? How people perceive insurance as an additional tax, you know, and if I don't have a claim, I need to find a way to get my money back somewhat, right? And that's wrong. And I think that's exactly the beauty of embedded insurance, because people actually only buy it when they transact an underlying good or service for which they see the need and value of getting insurance.
Perfect. So I think we need to wrap up there. So firstly, I'd like to thank the panel and thank you for listening. I'm just going to hand it back over to Lars for one final word. He's got some important news about tomorrow morning. So Lars, what is it? Where do people need to be? Where do they need to be? Final words are yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So what we mentioned before. We are running the MENA Insurtech competition. We are in 6 countries looking for the very best Insurtechs. We have done the very same thing for the UAE. We had something like 30 plus Insurtechs from the UAE that applied. We have selected 10 plus that will present tomorrow. So tomorrow 8, I know it's early, but we have to finish early as well. So from 8 to 11, we are here. We have a quick panel with the finalists from last year, Velix, seeing what actually brought to them, and we selected them as a winner last year. And see 10 plus Insurtechs have a really interesting jury, CEOs of Insurtech and insurance companies. And then we have the 5 semi-finalists for the big event that will be in May, where we see the top 20 Insurtechs of whole MENA. So I really invite you to come in. I think it will be really interesting. We have pre-seen the startup, so have fun with us. Just be on time.
Perfect. Well, thank you all again. I should have perhaps said, we didn't get time for all the questions. If you would like to ask us questions afterwards, we'll all be around. But thank you again for your attention, and thank you to the panel members.
Dr. Anas Karbotli, Group CEO of XA Group. Dr. Anas Karbotli, Group CEO of XA Group, is renowned for his strategic vision and hands-on execution of an AI-enabled claims ecosystem that improves efficiency and customer satisfaction, prioritizing empowerment and innovation and accountability. He is dedicated to leveraging technology for real-world impact. Welcome, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers to set up this event and making it happen during this period. I'm excited today to tell you about the AI revolution in the insurance industry, which impact it has been done during the last period, what we are doing right now, and where this is going in the future. Okay. Let's start. Let's have a quick look back. Like, not long time ago, the AI was just a novel concept. It was a nice idea. Today, the AI is transforming our operation. Currently, AI is making claims process faster and more accurate, detecting frauds, and even allowing for personalized insurance policies. Of course, with all of these advancements come many challenges, like ensuring data safety, maintaining human touch are paramount in this context. However, day after day, moving forward, the AI is becoming an integral part of each aspect of this claims ecosystem. Let's have a look on how this ecosystem looks like. However, in the event of an accident, as we know, the lengthy day of claims processes are fading away. Thanks to the AI, thanks to the power of AI to make this happen, today the AI is crafting a seamless claims ecosystem. Okay, when an accident occurs, the AI jumps into an action straight away. creating first notice of loss case, the AI algorithm will assess the damages and create an estimate in the real time. Without waiting around, the vehicle is towed to the pre-assigned garage that was selected intelligently based on the location and repair capabilities. But that doesn't stop there. The claim is not only generated, it was also processed with all required information, from parts inventory till the labor, and the repair garage was already prepared for this repair before even the vehicle is arriving. And during the full journey, the customer is getting notified and satisfied thanks to the AI. This is what an efficient ecosystem look like when we are talking, sorry. So what look like an efficient ecosystem when it's powered by AI, when it's powered by a mind that is empowering every single component from this ecosystem. That's why the full journey is becoming straight away from the first notice of loss through the claims to be processed and verified, sending to the repairs to streamline the full journey, streamline the full process, and getting the vehicle delivered to the client, which is satisfied and notified during the full journey. Okay, let's now bring our attention to the first and foremost duty of AI in this ecosystem, damage assessment. Today, the impact of the AI in this context is huge. It's providing a new era of precise and rapid damage assessment. This kind of shift is from the traditional methods, often subjective, to something objective, technology-powered, that is powered by AI. Of course, this shift is not only about speed, it's about accuracy and consistency. Here we have a very simple example about how the AI is empowering the damage assessment. From one single photo or one single picture of the vehicle, the AI was able to scan the full vehicle, detecting its make and model, detecting its body type, detecting its vehicle angle of view, and all panels without overlooking or any oversight of any panel of the vehicle. At the top of that, the damage is not only detected, it was also factored in the report that was submitted in the claim. This is not science fiction. Here, how we are implementing the AI today. Now, what kind of benefits the AI is bringing today to the table? First of all, standardization. And this is something very important today when we are talking about damage assessment. When we have like 3 or 4 assessors, they are receiving a case to assess the damages. We can have like 3, 4, 5 opinions. Here, the AI is coming to the table saying, gentlemen, let's stop here. Here is the standard. We don't have to judge anymore because we are following one standard that is applied on all cases. So from here, the power of standardization is coming. At the top of that, since there is no more human interaction in this specific section about damage assessment, so we are reducing the errors. We are reducing the human errors, and we are ensuring that there is no oversight in this process. And of course, once we are reducing errors, we are increasing efficiency, and the AI is empowering the full pipeline to get the final report. What is this bringing to us? It's bringing to the insurance, of course, accuracy and consistency. To the policyholder, it's bringing speed and transparency. And of course, to the repairs and body shop, it's bringing volume and efficiency. Okay, what we have to do to prepare for this AI? Here, the starting line is no more about hands-on skills. Today, the technology or the AI is joining the team. Here we are talking about another level of teamwork. What the AI is bringing, AI today is bringing speed, accuracy, and consistency. Okay, what do we need? What do we need? First of all, we need training. We need to, first of all, to understand how this AI is working, how we can use it in the right way to empower ourselves and to speed up our operation. And at the top of the training, we need tools. Tools not only working for AI, but it's tools that are optimized for AI. So here we are increasing the efficiency. And at the top of that, so we have training, we have tools, and the most important, which is very, very important, the open minds, willing to embrace this technology, willing to go to another level, willing to embrace the AI in order to benefit from its power to increase the efficiency. Of course, here we are talking about many challenges. First of all, the learning curve can be steep, of course, and the cost. Today, implementing AI cost is not something not efficient, is insignificant. But however, we have to consider all of these costs are about investments for the future. Looking ahead, we are able to see vehicles are becoming more and more sophisticated, more and more developed. On the other hand, we have to get more and more repairs that are leveling up to meet this level. So finally, by integrating AI, we are able to meet the evolved needs of the customer to make it faster, more accurate, and more transparent. Now, working together with AI. Here, let's set up this stage to talk about not only collaboration between ourselves as a human, but with the new tool or the new technology, which is bringing today a new force, new power to our table. AI strengths, we are talking about, again, speed, accuracy, and the most important, which is also my favorite, the endurance. Today, the AI is not taking any break, of course. No lunch break, no weekend break, no holidays. Didn't get hungry, didn't stop working anytime, and even didn't get impacted by rains or floods or whatever. AI is keep working 24 hours on 7 days. This is the power of AI when we compare it to the human. But from the other hand, what the human is bringing to the table? Of course, first of all, we are bringing empathy, we are bringing the communication with colleagues, with our clients at a personal level. So now, how to make it working together? We have to set up clear roles. Who is doing what? Where is the AI is excelling in, and where the human is coming? By defining these clear roles, we are able to move ahead in more efficient way. So the clear picture, the AI is not replacing the human. Here we are talking about enhancement to human operation, so to increase or to augment the human capability. Okay, we keep talking about AI, the amazing things he can do and all that stuff, but by the end of the day, we have to be grounded in reality. The AI is amazing, but it's not perfect. We have to keep this in mind. Challenges are coming all the time with AI. We have heard also in the previous presentations is about data. We can hear it about AI is not good, but AI is not itself it's our good. It's the data that was trained on is good. Bad data is providing bad outcome of AI. If we have old data, so AI is old. If we have biased data, so AI is biased. So that's why the very important change is about data, how to prepare this data, and how to use it in the right way to train our AI to get the right outcome we are looking for from this AI. Of course, ethical concerns are still there, like privacy. We have to ensure that all personal information, all confidential information are secured in the right way. And of course, to ensure this fairness, we have, again, I have to insist on the training on how to use this AI in the right way and how to benefit from it. After the training, we have to regularly and frequently check the AI. Let's see how this bias is coming, how these decisions are being taken by AI. And most important is the feedback. Let's challenge AI from time to time. Like, okay, we are getting the results, we are reviewing, and finally let's provide a feedback so we are able to get the final output, refine the full operation, and feed our feedback to the AI again. So looking ahead, defining the clear guidance and the clear protocols will make us to benefit from the huge potential of the AI. The future we are able today to see day after day, we have new innovations, new developments, generative AI. Every single day, we have new models, which are not only any models, like we are talking about we're talking about powerful models indeed. So we are able to see how AI is brighting in different spots in insurance, in repairs, in healthcare, in environment, talking about green energy, sustainability, all that stuff. Also in space discovering, and also how AI is breaking all barriers of language. So here we are trying to make like everything integrated under one single word. So today, by concentrating on this collaboration between AI and the human, we are talking about an important partnership in order to shape the world for the better. From the other hand, we have to keep in mind, with all of this great power, it's coming great responsibility. So it's up to us to ensure an AI that benefits everyone ethically and fairly. Thank you. If any question? Okay, thank you. Have a great evening. Sorry. Sorry, because of the light, I was not able to see.
Thank you. Just a quick question.
Sure.
Your AI journey is all concentrated about the external damages. Wherein in the first slide, when you mentioned that on a click of a photo, it can recognize what all damages have been done. So I understand that it is only for external. Is there any improvement that you are bringing in line for internal damages? Because I believe you would understand if a car or any motor vehicle is involved in any accident, apart from exterior damages, there will be internal damages also.
Of course.
So what is the proposition that you have for internal damages, and how is it that you are improving on that?
So thank you for this question, which is indeed very important. So today, when we are talking about any specific damage, even from outside, we have specific impact on the inside. And today, based on the standard we are getting from the automotive, we are able to define, let's say, what we call it list of potential internal damage. Let's take, for example, as we have seen in the picture, a front left view. If we have an accident from front left angle, we are able to list all potential internal damage as a kind of checklist that we are able to highlight based on our AI model. So today, our AI model, at the top of the external damage, he is able to predict a list of potential damage that are internal, not only external. Any other question? Okay, thank you. Have a great afternoon.
To moderate the session, I call upon Kavtar Bukhari, Partner Success Manager, Plug and Play Abu Dhabi. Welcome, ma'am. Now let's invite the panelists for this session. We have Nancy Murad, Founding Partner, MHW, Murad Health and Wellness. Samir Talab, Head of Strategy, Cigna. Lara Vajra Bidyan, Co-Founder, UBQT. Ayon Raza, Head of Transformation, Al-Watba National Insurance Company. Javed Akbar Ali, Co-Founder and Managing Director, Wellx.ai. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being the champions and staying here until the very last session on the last day, just before lunch. It's the toughest spot to be in, but glad to be here as part of an audience with, I'm sure there are lots of leading technologists, thought leaders, as well as professionals in the insurance industry. And beyond that, I'm very glad as well to be sharing a stage with some of the leading innovators as well as shapers of the insurance industry. Now, the topic of the panel is going to be on digitalization and digital transformation in insurance ecosystems. Now, of course, digital transformation has been a buzzword within the industry for many years now, and now with the advent of AI, and before that it was the metaverse, there's this external push to adopt these technologies into the day-to-day operations of an entity. But before we go into the challenges and the opportunities as well as some of the gaps we face here in the region, I'd like to maybe first start by allowing my panelists to quickly introduce themselves.
Thank you, Kauthar. Hi, everyone, and I second Kauthar on the fact for staying. I really think this is one of the most interesting topics. It's unfortunate we're at the end, but as they say, the leaving the best for the end. Brief intro about myself. Nancy Murad. I'm the founding partner of MHW, Murad Health and Wellness. It's a health and wellness consultancy that helps individuals and organizations take care of their well-being, particularly in a future where I strongly believe we will be increasingly challenged to keep up with the pace of change, to keep up with the increasing knowledge and new technologies and research every day that we have, on top of course, living in a increasingly stressful life. So we work at the intersection of strategy and solution delivery with large employers. I come from a public health background, have worked for a long time in the health insurance and payer space, and have done this with multiple employers in this region and beyond. I'm excited for today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kauthar, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. Even in the last discussion, I think it's an exciting discussion for us. My name is Samer Talib. I am the head of strategy for Cigna in Middle East and Africa. I have the pleasure of actually working with the strategy planning, strategy execution, product and vendor teams across regions. So I have the ability, the visibility of being able to start the planning of the strategy all the way to execution, delivery, and also creating the products and the relationship with vendors that enabled it. So that's more or less what I do. I actually came to the region recently. Before that, I was based in Europe. I was head of AXA Next, which was the innovation ecosystem for AXA. It's a combination of the services and innovation for the past 7 years. So we were before, and with my previous employer, in the delivery space, but also in the partnering through investment or partnership or acquisition through startups. So we had the ability to be flexible around how we partner with startups. And I'm looking forward to my coming to the region. This is a great place to be. I think there is growth in the region, and there is openness to innovation, which I'm very much looking forward to working with.
Hi everyone, very happy to be here as well and have such great panelists with us, so we're going to enjoy our time. So I have, all my career I have been in insurance and Insurtech, 13 years in insurance across business lines and continents, so 10 years in employee benefits, 3 years in trade credit insurance and political risk, so literally 180 degrees in the insurance industry. And then following that, I joined a startup in health tech doing genetic testing and digital health solutions that eventually IPO'd on NASDAQ in 2022, actually. I started my consultancy firm back in 2020, doing fractional consultancy, mentoring, advising startups in Insurtech and health tech globally. They could be from China to US, so it was really global. I came here in the region in 2021, felt like the Insurtech space was, needed like some expertise and support, but also it was maybe time that we speak about Insurtech, because it usually is the wave that comes right after the fintech. And I guess it's happening now because we have conferences around Insurtech, which is a good thing, but hopefully, like over time, we will have a room that's going to be more and more full, I would say, of people. I'm right now a board member of an Insurtech in KSA that just sent its application to the insurance authorities. And I'm also the co-founder of my new venture, which is Ubiquity, a social app that is more my life story. Thank you very much, everyone, and looking forward for this panel.
Thank you, everybody, for having me on this panel, especially Plug and Play and Insurtech for inviting me to this panel. My name is On Raza, and I'm the head of transformation at Al-Watfa National Insurance. My job over there, it's mainly around executing the strategic objectives, the strategic projects that are going to add to the growth of Al-Watfa National Insurance in the next few years. And previously, I have been part of multiple insurers in the region, leading projects from all the way to cloud computing, to medical insurance systems replacement, to digital journey automation, as well as other digital transformation projects for my previous employers. So yeah, I mean, looking forward to talking to all these great panelists here, and let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Thanks, On. And my name is Javed Akbar Ali, and I am the co-founder and managing director of WellX. A bit of an anomaly. I have no insurance experience. Someone that's completely outside of the industry. Found out earlier today that even our moderator worked in insurance for many years. But I come from an adjacent industry, from banking, and I've spent the last 2.5 years working within the insurance space, having the privilege of launching alongside my co-founder, WellX, which is a prevention-focused, digital-first, customer-centric health and life insurance partner. We work with insurers on being able to support them through their prevention-focused initiatives and approaches, as well as help them manage their portfolios to be able to manage risk better from a health and well-being standpoint, using preventative measures and integrating digital health technology tools to be able to bring down, ultimately and eventually, the cost of claims.
All right, thank you for everyone for your introductions. And I'm going to start off with you, Samer. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome you to the region. And as someone who's not just only new to a major player in the insurance industry in the UAE, but is also new to the region, I'd like to understand from you, first of all, from your perspective, how would you understand the way digital transformation is shaping the industry here, and what are the opportunities and what are some of the basically areas of strength that this region has, especially given that at the end of the day, this region is considered sort of a greenfield where regulations are still being put in place, as well as a lot of the, perhaps a lot of the barriers that are in places that are quite, that have quite a history, such as Europe, the US, where there is, of course, all the legacy to deal with. Floor is open to you.
Thank you for that question. I think part of the reason when I was thinking about coming to the region and joining Cigna is, you know, I've had the past 7 years working in innovation parameter or in services and innovation, was exactly that. I mean, this is a region that has growth in it, so there is a population growth, there is also healthy economies, but also you have quite new regulations that are very open in terms of encouraging innovation, encouraging change, encouraging new products, and therefore it's a place where you have flexibility around what you can do as an insurer. Now, that doesn't mean that there is no regulation around your capital, doesn't mean that you are not tied in some areas of your operation so that to ensure that you're able to be solvent or to deliver a service to your clients, but still, you have a lot less legacy. And that's apparent. I mean, companies are able to potentially launch products very flexibly and very fast. Companies have flexibility around partnership. They're not as tied as insurers with 100 or 50 years with legacy systems, so they're flexible around adopting new technologies. It does come with its own challenges as well. So the challenge is scale. So the region is fantastic in terms of when you are able to launch things at reasonable cost, but there are some things where you need scale to be able to launch, and therefore to offset some of the cost, you would need to have some scale in your portfolio to be able to have a positive return on investment. Now, this is where partnership plays a bigger role. So I hope that a lot of the insurance companies here will adopt a very open view around partnering with startups, because this is where you can, I would say, monetize over multiple portfolios rather than try to monetize in a single portfolio.
All right. Thank you very much for your response, Samer. And I think you bring up a very important point here, which is that at the end of the day, flexibility is a double-edged sword. It does create opportunities, but does create challenges around scale, as well as around adapting, increasing adoption rates in a region that is still understanding and learning how the importance of insurance, beyond, of course, mandatory insurance, such as vehicle insurance or, let's say, home insurance, medical insurance. It may be difficult, of course, to scale into the lesser-known industries. So the next question would be then towards you. Now, you've been a head of transformation and worked on such initiatives within some of the well-known insurers in the region here. Samer brought up a point about the importance of partnerships. In your role, what forms of partnerships have you made within the industry to actually enable the adoption of these technologies? And do you think technology actually enables the creation of these cross-sector partnerships, or do you think they're actually disable them?
Sure. Thank you for the question, and thank you, Samer, for your explanation of it. What we must understand also is, as insurers, we are not really an IT company, we're not really a technology company in general. So the partnerships with Insurtech is essential for us to do things, right? One of the pitfalls that we as insurers fall into when we are talking to partnerships with Insurtech and other companies is we try to do a lot of things at the same time without really understanding what is the value, right? Where the value is and so on. So obviously technology and digital transformation initiatives are a must for this industry within the region. We are lagging behind compared to other industries such as banking and so on. But the future is bright, obviously, with proper governance and value estimation and prioritization of what we want to do with Insurtechs. We can obviously convince the people on the top to kind of do things with Insurtech across the company, but do it bite-sized so that it can be easily tracked and completed over time. So that's, I think, one of the key things that we want to look at when we're talking digital transformation in insurance within the region.